Boys, do we have a show for you today? Going to be doing all of the usual segments. We'll do matchup recaps, do Vikings recap. We have the what are you doing of the week. And some feedback I've gotten on the pod throughout these first couple of episodes is that there isn't enough drama. You know, it's pretty light. It's just fantasy football. But that's going to change this week because we have drama. There was some messages exchanged in the group me between Jeff Osborne and Aaron Schwecke, and luckily enough, we have them both on the pod tonight. So we're going to talk about that issue, see if we can come to some sort of resolution, but no guarantees. These guys were hot, and I'll see if I can sort it out for you guys. So without further ado, give it up for Aaron Schwecke and Rich Homie Jeff. All right, two very special guests on the pod this week. We know there was some controversy between these two earlier in the week, but happy to have them on to talk it through and talk just some other fantasy football stuff. This isn't going to be a huge fight this week, so very happy to welcome on Jeff Osborne and Aaron Schwecke. Boys, how you doing?
Good. Happy to be here.
Yep, me too. Happy to
Awesome.
be on the most, what is it? It's got to be top 5 most listened to podcasts in the world.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely doing numbers over here without a doubt. Just want to do, some personal stuff. Jeff, obviously getting married last weekend. He just returned from a North Carolina honeymoon. Jeff, how did it go? How was the weather all right? Do you still love your wife? How's it going?
Overall, yeah, it was a good trip. The day we showed up, though, we were still dealing with the hurricane remnants of it. So we had like 60-mile-an-hour winds and cold rain. But after that, yeah, it was beautiful. Give me a little taste of the retirement life because it was really just us and a bunch of retirees down there.
Do you guys get night? You're like right on the beach, right?
I would say, where'd you go?
Yeah, we rented a beach house in Kitty Hawk. I don't know. It's like the Outer Banks area of North Carolina.
Beautiful.
A lot of seafood, a lot of just hanging out on the beach.
No fights? Couple fights?
Between me and Michaela?
Or is it just bachelor's?
I was going to ask if you golfed at all.
We went to Topgolf, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, that was good.
That's pretty sweet. Was it like, yeah, that's sweet.
Love that for you. Aaron, I noticed this past weekend you were doing some softball. Why don't you give us the rundown of that? Also, just give us like the overview of what your softball life is like, because it seems like you're in like 17 leagues. You're all over the place. Just what were you doing this weekend, and what's your softball life like throughout?
I was actually also in where the hurricane went through, but it was the week before there. It was like I was in Vieira, Florida, which is on the East Coast. It was like 45 minutes east of Orlando. And yeah, I was just playing the World Series for my level. Happens every year. Take a team down there. We got like 25th out of 85 teams, so not too terrible, but it's always fun to go to Florida and play softball.
How many games is that if there's 85 fucking teams?
The team that won it, I think, went 8 or 9-0. But it's like the World Series. It's kind of like the biggest tournament at the end of the year. So
it's all just like single elimination then?
No, it's double elimination, but it started on Thursday and it ends Sunday morning.
Wow.
But yeah, it's super fun because it's like a giant turf complex they built a couple years ago. So super tight. It's a good time.
So are you guys raising money like for the travel and stuff there, or is everyone just kind of paying their own way to like get there and whatnot?
So the team I played with to go down there this year has been a team for like 20 years. So they honestly have a decent amount of sponsors and whatnot. And then we did a couple fundraisers, and I paid a little bit, paid for my room down there, and then basically whatever else I paid down there. So it wasn't too bad, but there's a lot of sponsors they're the Silverbacks is what it's called. And then, yeah, I don't know. I play softball all summer. I played like 150 games this summer. I was grinding.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
yeah, it's a good time, but I mean, it's just being outside more than anything is what I always say.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
25th out of 85, man. Proud of you.
I actually just fired up the basketball career again today and jammed my my pinky real good. So it's nice. Remembered why I don't play basketball.
The intramural sports never end.
No,
for you. They never
I can be able to walk one day.
Jeez. Well, good to hear from you boys. Again, glad that you're on the pod with me. Let's get into a little Vikings recap. So really enjoyed the start of this game. The Vikes had two first drives that were pretty much flawless. I mean, they took like 7 minutes off the clock for each of these drives. They were controlling. They didn't have to force anything, really, it didn't seem like. The third touchdown drive in the first half was one of the best Vikings drives I've ever seen. So they had two different trick plays throughout that. They had the Kirk Cousins pass to Justin Jefferson, dishes it back over to Dalvin Cook, who has like 4 or 5 offensive linemen. Just, it's going for a first down. Just got the big boys up front. So good to see that. And then on the end of the drive, they have that little sneak pitch to Rager, who I can't decide if like I'm a Rager fan. He's had a couple problems with the punts. He had that fumble that he got back in this game. I think he had a muff punt in that Lions game too. But good to see him get that touchdown. What did you guys like from that? At least the first half. We'll get into the second half for the Vikings, but what did you like from that first half from them? Jeff, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, it's just night and day from Zimmer, I think. Way more creativity. It's not run first down, second down, shitty pass on third down, 3 and out.
Yeah.
What about you, Shweki? Anything specific you liked?
What do you throw at? What did Jefferson have 10 catches in the first half? I mean, obviously I have him, so I like that, but that's a pretty effective way to score points is just throw it to him because he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's wide open every time.
All of his routes. He's
like
just,
the Packer game again.
Yeah, just so much separation. He's just so much better than everybody else.
They had that one play too with Adam Thielen. Like, I don't know, they're lining up on the right side. Adam Thielen just goes. He gets 3 defenders to trail him on like this go route or whatever it is, and then Jefferson is just wide open for like a 15-yard gain. It just, I mean, that's not how you call it up.
Yeah, our run blocking looked much better too. The first game, it actually looked like Delvin had room to run.
Yeah,
and our pass blocking has been fucking great too, which is
definitely. Did we get anybody new this year, or was it pretty much the same squad run back?
Linemen? I think it's all the same. I know, Darisaw's a fucking monster.
Well, I think Darisaw is going off. Bradbury is playing like way better this.
Yeah, because he was kind of mid last year, right? I always remember him being like one of the middle of the pack ranked linemen.
I feel like he just had the classic mistakes too that were like just giving up the big sack like at the end of the game, or which we haven't had those. So speaking of night and day, the second half was, what do we call that? Night. It was bad, really bad.
Well, I don't know.
Not terrible. Really. I mean,
it's just I think with the Vikings, like we get on these stretches where what I was happy to see in the first half is that we can put together these drives. We put together 3 touchdown drives back to back with, I think, maybe a 4 and out in between it. But it just seems like we haven't been able to put together that full game necessarily. And I mean, it was scary watching that third quarter and watching the beginning of the fourth too, where we're just like giving up everything. The offense isn't getting going. Kirk throws that interception, obviously, that he wishes he could have had back. But I mean, I thought we were going to lose this game going into the fourth quarter. What did you guys think?
Oh, I thought it was for sure L. It looked like they were going to score every drive in the second half. We couldn't stop his runs, and he was actually hitting his passes, Fields.
I was going to say there's a lot of talk about that being Fields' best game as a pro. So, I mean, Yeah, they came back.
Is that what they're saying? His best.
I mean,
it was. He hasn't had many good passing games at all.
I was gonna say he had 15 completions. He only had like 30 going into that game. So,
dude, that guy misses wide open receivers all the time.
Yeah, he doesn't really have anybody, so who really knows? But yeah, what are they? 3-2, 2-3,
2-3 now. But yeah, I mean the contain. That just kind of seems like a theme with the Vikings. Like we just cannot contain when the play is broken down. Like we are letting this running back or this quarterback get out of the pocket. They can gain some yards on us. We saw it with Jalen Hurts for sure. But
got that holding call on that field. What is it? Was it like 60 yards, 40 yards?
Yeah, I mean,
by the same dude that fumbled it got it ripped away from him at the end.
Ish Schmidt, the guy that used to be on the.
Yeah, we drafted him. Yeah, we drafted him out.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like this amazing steal for the Vikes, and then just never panned out. Never did anything for us. Yeah, so then nice at the very end of the game. We do another long drive, 7-minute drive. Get down there. Nice to see the Kirk sneak, which seems to be a pretty successful play for us. I feel like we run that, and
that's such a funny play. Just the way he
Yeah, he's like so afraid, but
it's not like a jump. Obviously, he's got no hops. He's not jumping over the line.
Yeah.
He just kind of curls up and hides behind the big guys.
No, literally, like he just gets pushed. Like he didn't even really make a motion to get into the end zone. It was just like, I'm gonna hold on to this, and we'll get pushed in here eventually.
Yeah.
So gets that. He did it.
He's done it a bunch of times this year.
Done a bunch of times this year. Actually, would have been a good fantasy play for me this week. I think he ended with 22, ended up playing Brady instead, who got something similar. But then, of course, they throw it to that same receiver, Cam Dantzler, misses, lets the guy catch it, but goes and makes up for it. Awesome way to end it. It doesn't come down to the last second, just easy. We can kneel it out. And then we can enjoy the rest of our Sunday, because when the Vikes lose, man, those Sundays are rough for me.
Do you remember that game? What was it? Maybe a Gophers game, like our junior or senior year against Nebraska. I think a guy did that too, where they're about to score, he just comes up to him, just rips the ball out.
I was going to say the only time I've seen that happen was Little League football.
Yeah,
my buddy just ripped the ball out and took it for a touchdown.
He little boyed him for sure.
Well, especially after he breaks his ankles, skirts by him, he just comes back. So I'll take that. That's great.
This one. So Vikes end up with the victory. We are officially 4-1, still second in the NFC behind the Philadelphia Eagles. Really good start to the season. All right, the moment you've all been waiting for, the reason I have these two on the podcast. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to recap what I think happened. I'm going to let Jeff say his piece, and I'm going to let Aaron rebuttal. So there's been this fight in the league's group message, I think, throughout the year. We have 12 guys, and surprisingly, everybody is a Vikings fan, I think. Is Higgins No, that's Zacho. He's a Vikings fan. Higgins is a Vikings fan.
Higgins is a Vikings fan.
So pretty rare. 12 guys from college. Everybody is a Vikings fan, especially at the U of M. You get a lot of Packer fans. So we all want the same thing. We just want success for the Vikings. But there has been this controversy going on in the group message about Kirk Cousins. And Schwecky has been a proponent of the Kirk Cousins. That is trash. And, this isn't unique to us Minnesotans. I think you can walk down the street, and I think everyone has a different opinion of who Kirk Cousins is, if he's a good enough quarterback to win us the Super Bowl, if he's our best option right now, if he's dog water and we need him off the team. I think everyone has this different opinion. So Aaron, as I mentioned, big proponent of the Kirk Cousins is dog water. It's not good for our team. And I have swayed on this a lot. I've been on both sides of the aisle.
I don't think me saying he's dog water is exact, but
well, to that degree. But anywho, Sounds like Jeff had enough of Aaron's shit talking of Kirk Cousins this week. So
Yeah.
let me just read what Jeff said. After Kirk throws the interception, Aaron sends a update ? And then Jeff responds with, silence please. Shut up, Schwecky. Your Packers and idol Rodgers took the L today. He follows that up with a, you're from Wisconsin. What the fuck do you know about the Vikings?
Yeah, the
Aaron
classic. I feel like I pulled that like 10 times.
Aaron hits him with the, damn, bro, you're fucking sensitive as shit. And kind of takes off from there. And the problem with, I love this shit. I live for this shit. I'm 4 IPAs deep at this point when this conversation's going down. So I'm just loving it. I'm sending 30 different messages to the group me. So, Jeff, let me start with you. What was there something specific that set you off? Or I guess I want your thought process when you saw that message from Schwecky, the update, and what went into your response. You have the floor.
Yeah, much like you, I was tuned up on a Sunday evening, probably 8 deep at that point. Especially at that point, second half when we started blowing the game, that's when they started fucking going back. And yeah, I mean, it's just the classic Kirk hate. The guy starts the game 16. I don't know. What was it? 16 of 16?
17 broke the
he was
record. Broke
guys,
Tommy Kramer's.
You can't blame a guy for hitting the open man. And then
you can't.
The defense gives up a couple touchdowns, and then the Kirk mistake comes, and that's the only thing we criticize about the team.
I mean, that's when the criticism came in. I don't. So that kind of set you over the edge. That one comment, because quarterbacks are going to throw interceptions, right? That's going to happen in games.
Yeah. You see Brett Favre, Peyton Manning. I mean, they're gunslingers. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. So that
tough job.
So that comment. So okay, it sounds like you had a couple beers. This is just a friendly fantasy football league, so things happen. And you got upset from Aaron's comment. Aaron, what was going through your thought process? And might I add, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but you seem to be playing devil's advocate for the Vikings this year. Your response?
Obviously, I was, I'm a Kirk hater. I don't think he's dog water, like I said a little bit earlier, but I don't think that's exactly fair. He's obviously playing good, and I obviously want the Vikes to win. I just, that was heel shit by saying update. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was funny in the moment. It was probably poking a little too much. I told Jeffy that.
So what?
It's not. I mean, I don't know. I don't think.
So are you leaning in a little bit to the evil side, like you're just trying to stir the pot in this group, or do you really think like Kirk is? Do you think your opinion of Kirk is that much lower than the average opinion of Kirk in this group?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's just he's playing in the noon games and he's playing in the early season games. I mean, my response earlier was I'll come on after the divisional round because I mean he's got to win a playoff game again. I think that would be a good start, but that is also a team. It's a team thing, but
yeah, I don't think
I didn't think your
wrong.
guys is whatever you had him. What Tate had him 10 or 11, or you had him 11 or 12, something like that. I didn't think 12. That was wrong at all.
You think that was? Yeah. You think that was fair?
Yeah.
12?
Yeah. I mean, what is there? 10 teams that get the playoff? 12. So that's. I mean, obviously, I lean into it, but I don't. I shouldn't. I told Jeff.
He's far from elite. He does one thing well, and that's throw accurate passes.
Yeah.
When he has time.
Yeah, and I mean, if you ask me who else would you rather have right now, it's like, well, who else could you have? You'd have to draft someone and hope he's good in 2 years.
So this is where I kind of want to go with the Kirk thing, because I think so. We got Kirk Cousins. Is this his 5th year now with the Vikings? Is that right? Fourth year or 5th year?
I think his
feels like 5. I don't know.
I think it's his 5th year. So we brought him in after an NFC championship appearance. Excuse me. And I think it's fair to say that it's been disappointing because we were bringing in this guy. We thought we were going to finally be a consistent team. We had that amazing year from Case Keenum, and we obviously only made the playoffs once in his career. He did have that nice win versus the Saints. But kind of Aaron's point, it's like, what are our other options here? We're kind of always too good of a team to blow it up, to tank for one of these college quarterbacks. The market for quarterbacks hasn't been that crazy necessarily, I wouldn't say. So I guess that was kind of my point too during the segment with Tate earlier this year, where it's like, Kirk is our best option. And he's been our best option, I would say, for the past 3 years. I don't think we could have made any drastic moves to really improve the team, improve the quarterback position. So I think this is where people get frustrated with Schwecky, who isn't necessarily wrong. I think Kirk has been underwhelming at times. But at the same point, I think he's a good enough quarterback to at least win the North. Do you guys agree with that?
I think we can win the Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins
this year.
I think we need to make a couple defensive moves.
Is that in coaching position or in the personnel?
No, personnel. Patrick Peterson is washed. But Cam Dantzler being as good as he is this year gives me a lot of hope. If we could bring in, I don't think it'll ever happen, but if we could bring in a new cornerback, I think we'll stick with Patrick Peterson. But for sure, we need a D lineman that can do something. An inside guy. And
do you guys follow PFF rankings at all? Pro Football Focus.
Isn't that what they usually show at the start of the game when they?
Yeah, that's what they show, especially like Sunday Night Football, because Chris Collinsworth is like in bed, or it's his company.
Yeah, it's
literally his company. But they actually had a decent ranking for Patrick Peterson. I was talking about this with Sam Elliott, and it's like, that just seems fake, because I feel like so many times a game he is just either missing the coverage or giving up the easiest passes. He maybe hasn't given up like the home run ball, but
not yet. He should have on that Packer play. That was his coverage.
Oh, for Watson,
when he dropped it.
Yeah, when he just like wide open dropped it. Yeah, which I guess PFF does a good job of taking those into account as well.
Yeah. They have had some quarterback stuff that's been pretty wildly. I can't remember what it was at the start of this year, but they had some stuff that was just weird. It didn't make sense at all. So I think they miss sometimes, but it's also, a team fit thing, I feel like, too, compared to just a straight up ranking.
Yeah. No.
Is Pearson only a 1-year contract, too?
He was a 1 year. I think he signed another 1 year. Yeah. So, I mean, can definitely walk away from that next year. But
I'd say it is Kirk's 5th year, too.
Kirk's 5th year. Wow.
He's got, 3 more?
I think so. I think he signed that extension. I was looking for a little more in this segment, I guess. I don't know. Can one of you guys call each other a pussy or something?
Well, Jared's message made it more intense than I thought it was. I was like, oh, I don't even know me and Jeff hate each other that much.
I don't know with you, Shweki. I feel like you send some messages sometimes, and I'm like, is this guy like blood red mad, or is he just fucking with all of us?
I'm always I don't know. I'm trying to have a little conversation in the group me.
You're just trying to start some shit. They got it started. Got you both on the pod. So
hey, I mean, like it's Kirk can very well prove me wrong. Especially this year. I feel like in the NFC, besides, I mean, I guess you'd have to go through the Eagles, but there's a lot of room to be taken if we keep rolling.
What would it take for you to just be? I love Kirk Cousins. He's my quarterback. This is our quarterback. Is it 8-1? Is it 9-1? Is it less than that? Is it just winning the division this year? What is it?
Yeah. I mean, if they're rolling into the playoffs, it's going to be hard for me to. I mean, it's not like I'm not a Vikings fan. I'm going to be cheering for the Vikings. I'm going to be hoping Kirk does good. I was trying to think back to what I was feeling the Saints year, but I just don't remember. I mean, was Diggs on the team that year? right?
That was a Diggs year. Yeah, I think it's last year actually.
That's probably the peak Diggs and Thielen year, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be hard to not be excited for the Vikes if they're rolling to the playoffs. But no, they play. What do they got? The Dolphins, and then
Dolphins and then the bye week. And Dolphins, who knows who's at quarterback because they haven't said anything about Tua. Teddy got hurt last game.
I think Teddy's fine, but I'm pretty sure they said that Teddy got kept out because the new guy they hired for the Dolphins after they fired the Tua guy said that Teddy was wobbly after that one hit, so he couldn't play the rest of the game.
That motherfucker stays wobbly.
I mean, he did get.
Is that dude's knee okay? Has that ever been fixed? I don't know.
Dude, I mean, you might as well let the preseason MVP Skylar Thompson, is that his name? Let him roll.
Why not? All right. So I don't know if we got a resolution or a solution from that. Sounds like Schwecky's just fucking with us all the time when he talks about Kirk. That's what I got from that, basically. Jeff, you?
Yeah, no, we talked today. I mean, yeah. Just friendly banter.
Yeah. Not everything's so serious, you know? Everyone relax, including me. All right. So, yep, Vikes play Dolphins next week. Hopefully getting the win there. We're going to go to 5-1 before the bye. Would love to see that. But we'll cover that next week. Let's get into the matchup recaps. And first up, I'm going to talk about myself versus Tate Garrett. I got the 110-92 victory, secured the 2 points for myself. Devonte was huge last night. And we'll get into a little more of the Devonte stuff later on. But as far as the game itself, 25.9 points secured me the head-to-head matchup as well as the 2 points. He had 2 really nice touchdowns. Looked crisp. I wish he would get the ball more often. I think he only had like 4 or 5 targets maybe. Raiders are kind of tough to watch sometimes. Also huge for me in that game, Waller only played 6 snaps. The one guy that Tate still had playing 6 snaps, has the same injury that he's always had, taken off.
Yeah, I think he's got to have had that all year because he's done absolutely nothing.
He's done nothing. Is he I think he's like tight end like 20 or something.
In one of my other leagues.
Hasn't done much for Tate. Super disappointing, I'm sure.
Yeah, that injury though is just the classic Aiden fantasy football luck.
What did you think he was going to do? You think he was going to drop like 30 on me?
I mean, what was it going into the night? What was the score of that?
So it was 92-80. I have Juju Smith-Schuster and Devonte Adams.
Tate was winning, obviously.
Tate was winning by 12 with Darren Waller. And I end up with
that's not a guaranteed
110.
I mean, Waller could have put
if Waller puts up 18, yeah, you're right. Tate would have won. But he hasn't done anything close to that this year.
Not wrong.
Don't fucking come on my podcast and tell me I'm fucking lucky. All right, bud?
You've been the luckiest fantasy football player in this league by far.
I want receipts. What's been lucky about me just putting together championship teams?
I mean, I could give you, I was going to say a little lucky note from this weekend for you. Kamara, did Kamara even have a touchdown? But Taysom Hill had 3 rushing touchdowns.
Kamara had a good game, I thought. No.
He did have Taysom Hill?
He did have a good game, but Taysom Hill just decided to come have a 3 rushing touchdown.
Who has Taysom Hill?
Nobody.
Waiver wire right now.
And you can play him on tight end, right? Or is that?
Yeah,
you can play him as a tight end.
Tight end on ESPN.
He's designated just as a tight end.
He's QB and tight end on Yahoo, which is interesting. But yeah, that's
damn. So, well, I'll drop this pod tomorrow morning, so only us 3 know about it.
I don't think I've spent $1 yet on the wire.
I haven't either.
All right. Anywho, Tate could have gotten the win if he had played Breece Hall. Had 26.7 on the bench. I don't think he played his team wrong necessarily.
Yeah. He had to guess.
I mean, you played James Robinson. I would have played James Robinson over Breece Hall. And Alec Pierce actually got 12.1 for him in the flex. So not a bad play. Unlucky for Tate. He is at the bottom of the standings. So he's made a lot of moves. So maybe maybe something improves in these next couple of weeks, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Next up, Josh versus Wooly. Josh gets the 144-67 victory. Just demolished Wooly this week. High scorer of the week. Obviously, leading that charge was Travis Kelce with 4 touchdowns. I have to mention this story. It's from another fantasy football league, but it's hilarious. So we have our high school league, which is basically just half of this league and then half of my high school friends, basically the same characters. But right. Tate is in that league, and he is co-managing a team with Colton, who is Jared's cousin. And we don't have the 2-point system in this league. It's just standings. So Colton and Tate are up 20 points on Jared in this league. And Jared's out of players, and they just have Travis Kelce left. But in this league, a lot of people are going to have the same standing record at the end of the year. So it really comes down to points for as a tiebreaker. This dude, Colton, takes Travis Kelce out of the lineup because there's a 99% chance victory if they keep him in, or 100% chance victory if they take him out. So they end up losing 30 points by this dude just not playing Travis Kelce when they're up 20. So Tate might miss the playoffs from this league because of Jared's stupid fucking cousin.
Wow.
So that's just an aside. Anywho.
Why did it go to 100% if he sat him?
Because then he went. There's no chance of fumbles.
Oh, what? He was only up by a little
bit. Colton thought that Travis Kelce was going to fumble the ball 10 times and they were going to lose. That was the rationale.
Jesus Christ.
So this is Jared's family. So take from that what you will. Gabe Davis for Josh's team obviously went off, had the 30 bomb, had that Randy Moss Thanksgiving stat line, like 3 catches, 2 touchdowns, 175 yards.
98-yard touchdowns are so cool.
They're sick, especially in fantasy. Oh, yeah, you just feel so good.
Especially, was that the first? I mean, it had to have been. They kicked first off. Quarter. Then they got it punted back because I think there was 14 minutes left in the first. So
yeah, so immediate points for him. And on the opposite side, Wooly's high scorer was Nick Folk for 18 points. So probably not going to get it done when your kicker is the highest scorer. What do you guys think of Josh's team? Because I think it's pretty good.
I would disagree.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Give your
he's got three studs in Hurts. Davis, who he's been a stud, but I think this is a boom or bust player.
Yeah, he seems to be above what he should normally be.
What, 10 catches on the year?
Yeah.
And then he's got – oh, wait, no. Gabe Davis is not one of the studs, my bad. He's got Samuel and Kelce. And the rest of the team, I think, is questionable. I think they're overperforming.
He is – so I think Josh is currently in second place.
He is.
The Gabe Davis play is, that's not a consistent play. He actually got benched in some other leagues that I'm in because he's been so inconsistent.
Then he's got Kareem Hunt as his RB1, who is the number 2 guy there. He's got
Jamal's leaving eventually, right?
Right. He's got James Conner, who I have, Benjamin, who is the better running back on that team. He only had 9 carries this week.
Cardinals are a mess too.
And then what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do when the bye weeks hit? Because the bench is weak. Sorry, Josh. I'm just telling it how I see it.
You're definitely not wrong.
You've had a very good start, but I could see you dropping in the standings.
The best thing for Josh is he's gotten the points early. He's the only person with 8 in second place. So I think these early points are indicative of where you end in the season. But, it could be a big drop-off for Josh. I like his team. I like his big players that can go off because I think that's what fantasy is. Like, if Kelce's getting you 25 points, you only need a couple guys to go off per week. So I like his big players, but like you said, Jeff, they might be regressing, might not be as good going forward. I had Wooly as a good team, but man, it is not performing.
Yeah, he's got the good players that just decided they aren't going to be good this year, and Jonathan Taylor too being hurt is sad.
Jonathan Taylor, I saw some stat.
What was his injury diagnosis?
He'll be back this week. I'm pretty
Really?
sure. Yeah, he's projected points this week. At least they haven't ruled him out. I have seen in the past couple of seasons where he's done pretty poorly in the first 4 or 5 weeks, and then he ends up as like fantasy running back 3 or fantasy running back 5 or something like that. So I still am confident in his ability, but it definitely sucks like early in these games where you're kind of hoping that he's going to be the 20 to 25 point guy a week, but certainly hasn't been that for Wooly so far.
Yeah, and he had the handcuff too with the
I did the same thing in my other league. Got a concussion immediately on the first catch. I think he had like a catch for 10 yards or something and then got a concussion. So.
Dude, I saw a crazy bet. Someone bet Nyheim Hines. I think it was like $80,000 to be the first touchdown scorer. Or maybe it was any time, whatever, to score a touchdown. And he gets injured right away. And then no one scored a touchdown. It was any time touchdown score. And then no one scored a touchdown. And so he got his money back.
Oh, my God. Insane. All right, next up, we have Nods versus Sam Elliott. Nods comes out with the 126 to 104 win. I believe Sam was the first man cut for the 2 points by yours truly. Suck it, Sam. Nods, a lot of production from Mahomes and Fournette. 30-plus points from both of those guys. And for Sam's team, I mean, it wasn't a bad week by any means, but just no one really popped off for him. Obviously, having Patrick Mahomes on Monday night is huge. You'll love to see him get all those fucking touchdowns. What do you guys think about these teams? Good, bad, playoff contenders, or just middle of the road?
Both of these teams. Honestly, I thought Sam's team coming out of the draft was quite good, surprisingly.
Yeah.
He's done well. His team's still looking all right.
He's had two bad weeks, I would say.
He's
kind of is a killer in this league.
I would say he's got that. Like I have Tyreek Hill in another league. He was in a walking boot after the game, which not very good.
Terry? Yeah, that guy's always hurt. So
yeah, I mean he's tiny. Feet are tough in the NFL too. It's probably doesn't take much, but he wasn't a walking boot. But he said he was fine. So
yeah, I mean quarterback matters with that team. Like for those guys, for the skill position players, like
I think just because Tua was so dialed in to start the year, I think that matters. Like maybe. Yeah, I think so. Tua's
got insider info. Is Tua coming back anytime soon? Have they said anything about him? Does anyone know when this fucker is playing? Or is he just
he could be done
for the year?
Who knows?
I didn't read anything.
Jeff, you don't have any inside line on betting? Nothing? You haven't heard shit?
No.
So yeah, definitely could be brutal for the Tyreek Hill and Waddle owners. They get some production from Chris Olave, but I think he got hurt as well, right? He was limping during the game.
What? Dude,
yeah, like he's a stud.
But I didn't know he got hurt.
On the Saints, you mean?
I mean, what is it? Thomas, Jarvis, him.
Kamara's been hurt, right?
Jameis.
Jarvis is going to be on waiver wires. Pretty
was Jarvis hurt or was he just?
He was hurt this week. Thomas and Jarvis were out. Yeah. He won't be on my team for much longer. So
I say the other thing I have for Nod's team is that he's got Leonard Fournette, and Leonard Fournette has 22nd rushing yards, but is 7th, and he's RB7. He just scores so many goddamn touchdowns.
Scooping up those touchdowns for sure. Yeah, I think Nods was my number one team coming out of the draft. Looking at it now, I mean, it's not crazy
Where's he
by
at?
any means.
He's got a good amount of points. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing decent. He's, I think.
I mean, Allen Robinson, I wanted him in the draft. I'm really happy I didn't get him, but he's got to pick it up at some point. I mean, Cup can't have 150 yards every game, and this guy get none.
He's been brutal to watch, but is it just the Rams team, just kind of the Super Bowl hangover of like, can they not really get anything going? Their offensive line is garbage. I don't know how much of it is on Matthew Stafford for just kind of staying in the pocket too long, but they've been a rough team to watch. And as someone who has Cam Akers, it's been fucking brutal. And I might have to play him this week.
Oh, you definitely have to play him. You got nothing else.
For the listeners, I might get blown the fuck out by Jeff this week. I'm calling it right now. I have two of my best players on bye. I think I'm projected like 90 points to 110 or something. It could be a bloodbath.
I'd have to agree.
Have to go. All right, we're taking too long with these freaking matchup recaps. Aaron and Jared. Aaron with the 123 victory over Jared with 101. Love to see the production out of Justin Jefferson, Josh Jacobs, and Derrick Henry, all with 24-plus points. Aaron, you got to love it. Talk to me.
Yeah, they're the workhorses. I texted you earlier to ask about the auction draft standings. I'm pretty sure I got JJ and Derrick Henry for like $135 in the first couple picks. So that was really a good thing it panned out because they're power in the team. I mean, like I said, Kirk just throws to Kirk, Kirk just throws to JJ. So
what was your strategy going into the draft? Did you do much auction work, or were you just kind of
not
like,
really?
I know the guys that I want, I'm gonna go get them?
I think I nominated Derrick Henry and somebody else maybe nominated JJ, but yeah, I didn't do a ton of research. I mean, it's especially for the first year, it's pretty chaotic. Everything's going real fast. It's hard to have a ton of strategy.
What about you, Jeff? Do you do anything like crazy this year? Or I guess you've been in auction drafts.
Yeah, you've done it right.
Yeah, I've had a league that's done it like 3 years, but yeah, I just fucking wing it.
It's just kind of chaotic, man. Especially when you're having a couple of these bad boys. Wait for the audience. Couple of these bad boys.
There you go.
Crowd
goes wild.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Josh Jacobs last 2 weeks. I'm surprised it hasn't worked out for the Raiders, but they decided to run the ball a ton. I think he had 30 points last week and whatever he had this week total.
He's looked like a monster, dude. He was just trucking people, making people miss.
Where
did that come from? I guess they started giving him the ball, but
he was getting 10 yards at will towards the end of that game. I was just like,
damn,
they're not even going to go to, like, I was looking for some more points because this is before Devonte scored that second touchdown, I was just like, they're never going to go to him because Josh Jacobs is getting 12, 15 yards every fucking carry.
And he used to never get any catches, and now he's getting 5 catches a game the past 3 games.
Yeah, that too.
He's
remember when I was trying to trade for him?
I was going to say, literally since that day, the last 2 weeks he's went off. And Marquis Brown too, Hollywood Brown. He first couple games weren't great, and now he's the only guy Kyler throws to. But DeAndre will be back soon. But
that is right. DeAndre is coming.
Yeah, but Hollywood will still be the second.
How many more weeks, Jeff? Is that 2 weeks?
I think one more week.
1 week. Wait, 1 week.
He's coming back week 7 or week 6?
6 games. He had 6 games. Yeah.
And I think he was roiding, so he'll be roided up.
Oh,
he'll be fired up.
He's got to still be roiding, right? Like, they're not checking again.
Well, it's like they don't like make him get drained out of him. It's still in him.
Yeah.
It's still in him.
He's ready.
Growing.
He's ready. We've been talking.
Jorge Polanco's still hitting 265 with homers, dog.
Come on. That man's juiced. For Jared's team, again, not a terrible week by him. Put up 101. Austin Eckler with back-to-back 30-point weeks has to be promising for him. Stephon got going again with 20. T. Higgins injury. What's going on with him exactly? Ended up with 0. I think he got hurt.
He was
Rashad
hurt.
Penny
Tried to play.
injured.
Rashad
Jared,
Penny out for the year.
Yeah, Jared, you better go get that handcuff on the waiver.
Who even is it?
He's on my team.
Kenneth. Jeff, dude. This is what I fucking hate about a 12-man league is every time I see someone get injured, I'm like, oh, sick. This is the guy I'm going to pick off the waivers. And he's already on someone's team. We have like the backup's backup on everybody's team. So disappointing to see. Last thing with Jared's team, Young Ho watch. 0 points this week.
Whoa.
Gotta be disappointed with that. I think he made an extra point and missed a field goal. Might have to cut him. This might be the mid-season Young Ho cut.
Oh, back to Schwecky's team. I would like to trade for Justin Tucker, by the way.
Yeah, it's really good. You can't.
Adam Thielen. Fuck it.
I was gonna. No.
Moving on.
No.
I can't allow that trade to happen on this pod.
No, I want Justin Tucker. Yeah, he's that game. Especially, did you see the tweet that said the field goals are so wide, and he was like 0.03 of a yard away from the dead center of the game-winning kick. It's like, yeah, he just does this. He does this after he does it too.
He's just fucking automatic.
He's the only cool kicker ever.
Only cool kicker ever. Blair Walsh? Anywho.
I would say for that 1 year. Not the other year.
Next matchup, we have Jeff 102 to Schneid's 96. Only matchup this week where the winner did not secure the second point. Jeff squeaks one out for 1 point. Back-to-back disappointing games from Lamar, though, Jeff. How are you feeling about that trade about 5 weeks in right now?
I mean, I feel amazing about it, honestly. I thought it was even at first, but I think it's pretty clear I've won the trade up to this point. It's either – I mean, Lamar's gone. Lamar's the number 2 quarterback, and now Dalvin's finally figuring it out.
Dalvin with 25 plus this week.
And you gave me Madison, so it's like if Dalvin gets hurt, I'm fine there.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about that trade in hindsight, and I do feel like I instigated the Lamar stuff. I'm wondering, because you only had 2 at the time. I'm wondering if I could have.
You could have
maybe gave you Brady, gave you Kirk.
Yeah, because I wanted Dalvin bad, and I honestly don't know why I wasn't high on Lamar Jackson, but you put him in the trade, so I was like, all right, he's better.
Still got Jamar too, who hasn't done anything.
Jamar.
Yeah, who gets hella targets, but I don't know. I haven't watched him play much, but he just can't.
They got to just hit the switch at some point. There's no way they can stink this bad.
I don't know. Their O-line and their defense are looking pretty bad.
Are they? I haven't watched a ton of games, but you just think they'd.
Well, I mean, it seems like.
I mean, they beat Miami, who
True.
had fucking Teddy, like out there. I mean, they're not looking like a very good team this year.
Yeah. Also, Tony Pollard is the greatest backup running back in the history.
I got running backs now.
I mean, not for your.
Let me get one
for the Cowboys. Well, I got running backs too, but.
Oh wow! Hey everyone, I'm talking to the 2 best teams in the fucking league. I guess they just have everyone.
Yeah, it very well might be. I mean, you're top 3: me, Schwecky, and JT. Top 3 teams right now.
Schwecky, do you agree?
I mean, I like my team. I changed the team name to Constant Quarterback Tryouts because I just don't know who's sitting there, but they're going to be in there.
Someone's going to play.
Yeah, I think Russ is going to get another chance this week.
Oh God, that guy fucking blows. So to Schneid's team, I think Schneid needs to make a move here. I've been pretty critical of him on this podcast. I think Schneid's is a smart fantasy owner. I think he can make the moves required, but I think it's time for him to move Cup maybe. Easily the biggest asset on his team. What else does he have? Don't look at me like that, Jeff.
He's not going to move Cup. That's not going to solve his problems.
What's going to solve his problems?
It might not be solvable, but you don't trade the best fantasy player.
So how do you feel? I guess this is kind of why I brought it up.
I was gonna say that
because at what point, if you're a bad fantasy team and you need to make some moves, and besides you bidding the most on a backup running back to a running back who got injured, like what else is he going to do?
He's just
no one's going to just, you're not going to get it by trading, a running back for a shitty running back for a shitty wide receiver. Why not go all in Cooper Kupp to a good team for a lot of pieces, similar to what I did with you?
They just wouldn't be able to make the trade work. I don't think I've ever seen the number one fantasy player be traded in a league.
And do you think that's a bad move to trade the number one fantasy player?
Yeah, I just don't think there's ever going to be a trade that's going to work out, but maybe,
You'd have to, the person trading for him, you'd have to give him 3 decent players, or it'd be like, you can't really have depth anymore if you trade for him.
His team could turn it around. He's got Mike Evans. He's got Najee Harris.
Can't figure out why he just stinks.
I tried to trade for Kyle Pitts a couple times. Early in the year, I offered Lamar Jackson and I think Irv Smith.
Damian Harris.
Was it Damian Harris?
I already covered this on my last spot. Are you not?
Oh, you did? I didn't listen. I don't listen to these things.
What the fuck, dude?
I missed that one. I was on a honeymoon, I think. I don't know.
Damn. I was given insider info. But yeah, no, you were offering Damian Harris and Lamar Jackson for Matthew Stafford and Kyle Pitts, right?
Yeah, I've made some bad trades that people have declined. So thank you guys.
Good job. Good job, team. Yeah, it's not all on me, okay? It's on other people too. Yeah, I just think. Do you think it's crisis mode for people who have 2 points right now, being Higgins, Tate, and Schneid's? Or do you think they can stay the course? Obviously, we saw last year.
Yeah.
Higgins and Tate were in the same position. So maybe you stay the course. But I think they also made moves. Which, speaking of moves, let's get into the final matchup. Justin, 111 to Higgins, 110. Closest matchup of the week. Got to be disappointing for Higgins not to pick up that second point. Ends up getting 1 for being in the top 6. JT hangs on this week. Like we said, you two, myself included, I would put Justin probably at the top of our league right now. His team looks solid. He's gotten points every single week, I want to say. We're 5 weeks in. He has 9 points. So I think he picked up 1 point a couple weeks. But this team's good. This team's good from Justin. Josh Allen, who he thought he made a mistake when he got him, but what is he? QB1 right now? QB2?
Mm-hmm. He's QB1, I bet.
QB1 and then Lamar and then
Lamar's
Mahomes.
2,
Yeah. So definitely like this team from Justin. Think he's going to keep rolling. God, he's got a lot of guys.
He's got depth. He's got Keenan on the bench, Montgomery on the bench.
I might have to make a trade with JT.
Yeah, him just starting Mike Davis. Mike Davis puts up 33 total yards, but scores 2 touchdowns. Love that.
Fuck. But is this classic JT where he always has a good team and then just fucking chokes and misses the playoffs? Is that what we're all thinking? That I'm seeing some head nods on the camera.
I don't know. I feel like Josh Allen is gonna be like the Bills are rolling. They're just gonna do it the whole year. So I feel like he's good there.
Could be. Some positives for Higgins. Might have found his quarterback with Geno Smith. He put up 31 last week, 24 this week. So no more 3 points for Mariota week after week. And made the trade for Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb put up 25. I don't know exactly what that trade was, who he ended up giving up. But if you can get a starting running back who's putting up 25 points, he's got to be one of the top 5 running backs in the league. Oh, he's number 1. So got the number 1 running back. Looks pretty good for Higgins. Any comments on Higgins? No. His team sucks.
Oh, you want comments? Okay. Yeah, it's a solid team. A little weak at wide receiver and flex, but
So he's got RB1 and 6.
yeah,
Not bad.
McCaffrey might get traded to a better team too. So
I saw those rumors for the Bills, but I don't think it's happening.
Who's the head coach? Oh, it's
Who? What?
the head coach is now Ben McAdoo.
For the Panthers?
I'm pretty sure.
No, it's not Ben McAdoo.
Oh, it's interim head coach. It's probably
Interim head coach. But yeah, well, and also isn't Baker hurt, so I think they're PJ Walker this week. So, little PJ Walker spark.
that's an upgrade, honestly.
Turn McCaffrey's career.
He played good last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think last year.
Yeah, he played a couple games. All right. Those are the matchup recaps this week. Let's go through the standings really quick. We have Justin Thompson with 9 points at the top. Josh Palmer with 8 points in second. Aaron Schwecke with 7 points in third. We have 2 people with 6 points. Sam Nodler in fourth. Myself in fifth. Jared Bloom with 5 points in sixth. Right outside of the playoffs is Jeffrey Osborne, also with 5 points. Then we have we have Sam Elliott and Wooly with 4 points in 8th and 9th. And then the 2 boys, Tate, Schneids, and Higgins, all with 2 at the bottom. And the leading scorer, any guesses? It's Justin at the top with 573. Wait, no, it's not. It's Palmer with 576 in second? Guess he did just drop 144.
Fraudulent.
Yeah,
Dude, is this
that.
guy cheating? Is anyone
Cut
checking
that.
these?
Cut that excitement from the pod.
Yeah, cut that shit. Who do you guys think out of these 6 teams who are legit and who are frauds? Jeff, you first.
Yeah, I've already mentioned Josh. I think the bye weeks are going to hit this guy hard. No depth. 3 guys. And then my other fraud is Aiden.
Agreed.
I mean,
What about my team is fraud?
Your team, when I look at it, I think it's bottom 2 roster-wise. And then you look
Your
at
best players going to prison. They're locking them up. Can't be doing that stuff.
We're going to get into that, so just hold on.
Well, what else is there to talk about on
I
your
think
team?
he was falsely accused.
Didn't you just won by the amount he scored, didn't you?
Aiden has 499 points for.
That was else.
Me outside of the playoffs, 520. Sam outside of the playoffs, 553. Wooly outside of the playoffs, 511.
Too much is
It's
taken.
just the classic.
That. Too much of that is that's 1 week. The difference between me and the top scorer is 76 points. That could easily be taken over in 1 week.
All right, do it then.
I'll fucking do it this week. You think I'm scared of you, Jeff? Your shit team?
Kenneth Walker.
So, okay, so you're moving me and Josh out. Are you doing the same, Schwecke? Do you agree with that?
I don't know if I'd move Josh out, but I don't think.
Who would you move in? You're moving yourself in, I'm assuming.
I mean, I would probably put you 7 and then bump Jeff and Jared up.
The league is hoping to God that Jeff gets in the playoffs so he can choke for like the 5th straight year in the playoffs. His team never fucking performs. He's built for the regular season. He's not built for the playoffs. What do you have to say about that?
He's about to have Kenneth Walker and D-Hop.
Yeah, Aiden, you don't even know who Kenneth Walker is. The man almost won the fucking Heisman. He should have won the Heisman. And now he's on a good offense. Slide that guy into the flex. Now the only weak spot is my kicker, which I'm gonna get Justin Tucker from Shrekky. So we'll figure that one out. And then I need another wide receiver.
All right. So what are Kenneth Walker's MVP odds right now? Could I get a steal there or what?
Probably. Gonna be tough with Gino leading the pack.
It's gonna be tough. All right, those are matchup recaps. Went a little longer than thought we were going to, but just love talking to these boys. They're just a good fucking time. We're having a couple beers. It's fun. So now we're going to get into the what are you doing of the week.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
The what are you doing of the week goes to Devonte Adams. So after the loss, catches 2 touchdowns, puts up basically 26 fantasy points. They lose in heartbreaking fashion. Hunter Renfrow runs into this dude, cuts him off. It's a broken play. They lose the game. They had they went for it on 2 when they could have tied the game, and ends up being what cost them in the end. So as Devonte is walking off the field, this camera guy who works for the NFL or works for the Chiefs or whatever walks right in front of him, and he gives the full 2-hand push on this dude, sends him to the ground, looks pissed off, walks into the tunnel, and seems like he's probably going to get a suspension. Seems the Raiders already signed Albert Wilson to a contract. So seems like they're expecting him to get suspended. What is this guy doing? You leave the Packers, you leave a better team to go to the Raiders who have proven nothing, who have had no playoff success, no success to speak of in 10 years. I don't know. The Raiders have not been good. And you're going to freak out at this camera guy. I've seen a couple angles. One angle makes it seem like he totally knew this guy was coming and he just walks right up next to him and pushes him. The other angle, maybe he didn't see it until the guy was like right in front of him. Kind of tough to tell, but a really bad look for him. Really brutal for my team if he's suspended any amount of games. Because as Jeff mentioned earlier, sounds like I'm out of my way or of the playoff picture.
Mm-hmm.
So really need him to play. What do you guys think of Devontae's actions? And what do you think is an appropriate punishment? Aaron, you go first.
I don't know. I don't know what's appropriate. Or I think he'll maybe get suspended 1 game. I don't know. From the other angle I saw, it looked pretty like they didn't see each other too much. It's I don't think it's the end of the world. It doesn't. He obviously apologized for it. I don't know. He's never done anything really bad, so I think it'd be kind of tough to give him a ton of punishment for this, but he'll get a big ass fine.
So do you see? What do you think is appropriate? A big ass fine, or a 1 game? Is a 1 game suspension too much?
I think so. I think I think it is. I saw the guy already filed a lawsuit too, so it's like, well,
what a bitch. Also, thank you for bringing that up. What a fucking pussy for in the report when he filed the police report. There's a line in the report that's like, initially the injuries were deemed to be non-life threatening. They actually have that line. No shit, the dude fell a couple feet. He's going to be fucking fine.
Uh-huh.
So I think that plays into it, that the guy files this report. I mean, the way the NFL works, like probably getting suspended game. Jeff, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he'll probably get a game, but if he gets a game, why did the guy that trucked the guy that, I guess because that guy was doing his job, but the fan that ran on the field was
Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, he just laid him out.
Yeah.
And they didn't even, nothing happened to him. So,
yeah, I mean,
I feel like he'll get a game though, just because.
It's the way
it looked pretty bad. It was right in the main broadcast too. Like,
and this guy's taking footage for the broadcast, and he just shows him.
Yeah,
the lawsuit is hard because it's like, how can he say that's not like you are in the same spot at the same time? Like, it's how are you going to prove that was malicious?
For sure. But that's
But
that's where I kind of feel like,
it's
there's a lawsuit, the NFL. Like, one game, look, we did our part.
right.
Send him a game. Like, all clear on our end. So, something to look for my team. Already sucks not having Devonte this week because of the bye week. Might not have him for 2 weeks now. Gonna have to step up somewhere else in the position. All right, final segment of the podcast, and this is a fun one, and I'm glad I have you two on for this. So here's how it's going to work. This is the Choose Your Fighter segment. Us three are going to do a snake draft of players in our league who we would want in a fight. So how it will end up at the end of the draft, it'll be teams of 4, and we all have to fight to the death. So snake draft, like I said.
Jesus.
So 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. And you're looking for killers. You're looking for absolute killers on your squad. I'm going to write down a number to select 1 through 3. I'm going to write down a number, and I'm going to let Aaron pick the number first. And whoever gets the number right will select the draft order.
Okay, 2.
Nailed it. So you select the draft order, Aaron, and then we are going to draft our teams.
I clicked the whole order, huh? We'll go in this. Well, I guess it looks my way this way, but we'll go you, Jeffy, me.
So I got first pick?
Yeah, I'll take the old snake.
Perfect. With my first pick, I am taking Higgins. So I think this guy, I've seen this guy wrestle fucking Joey. I think this guy's got a screw loose in his head when it comes to fighting. I think he gets down and dirty. I know he can wrestle. He can grapple with them. Size is going to be an issue. We're shorter guys, but I like the toughness that Higgins is going to bring to my team. So I'm going to take him with the first pick in the draft. I'm sorry, who's up next, Aaron? Is it Jeff or you?
It's me.
Jeff, you're up.
This is pretty easy for me. I got to go with my boy JT. I mean, his brother is a master of jiu-jitsu. He's got to have some of that in his blood. I mean, I've seen the guy mad. That's my day one. I think, yeah.
I think that's a solid pick. I think if I had gone second, probably my second pick as well. Also, I wanted to mention, too, that, starting with us three as captains, I think we would be at a disadvantage normally, me and Shweki versus Jeff. But,
no, I thought you meant you and Jeff. When you said
no, I didn't mean that. Except after talking to Jeff last weekend about his crippled ass body, this dude's like a 56-year-old construction worker. I mean, he can go down with a gust of wind at this point. So I don't think it's the big bad Jeff of days of old, per se.
Try me.
Well, we're going to. This is real life, bitch.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right, Aaron, you got 2 picks. What do you got?
I think my picks would have to be Jared would be my pick because, he's certified. He's trained. He's ready for it.
How many Minnesota wide receivers need to knock out Jared before you don't pick him?
Whoa, okay. Who was this again? This is at Blarney's.
Dude, I was trying to figure it out before the pod, but it was Brian something. He was a receiver.
What?
Big, tall black dude.
For the Ghosts?
You don't remember this story? For the Ghosts? No. So Jared walks into the Blarney bathroom, accidentally hits a guy because I think it's like a push forward door.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, sorry, man." And this guy immediately clocks him in the face. And then he gets punched at Sally's like 3 weeks later. So this is your first pick. I'm giving the details.
It sounds like he's got a lot of inspiration for the fight.
We got to find his name. I'll find his name before I release this, but
no, it's Brian Smith. That's who you're talking about.
Brian Smith. Yeah. Yep, you're right.
Brian Smith Jr. And then my snake pick. It's a tough one between, Honestly, it's tough between Tate and Wooly because, I just feel like I don't know if Tate would want to fight that hard. I feel like he, they're both kind of lovers, but I feel like Wooly would be a better fighter. No offense to Tate.
Wow. All right. So Wooly with Aaron's second pick. Jeff, back to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Tate. I've wrestled this man in college a couple times drunk, and it was super easy. But I think he was probably blackout, and I would expect him not to be blackout for this fight. I know he's got that dog in him. So yeah, I'll go with Tate.
He's got brothers too. This kid wrestles all fucking time. So
he's tough as shit. Yeah,
he's been through it. He can take a punch.
He could take a punch. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to go down easy. I don't know if he'll lay some hammers, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good pick. All right. Who have we crossed off here? Justin, Wooly, Higgins, Tate. I mean, I think I got two easy picks here. So, as I mentioned earlier, Jeff's got some size. So I need someone to at least square up with him. So I'm going to take Schneids. Tallest guy in the league, I would say. I don't know much about his fighting style, what he can do, but I at least, while Higgins is taking out some of the lesser guys, I can have Schneids distracting Jeff or Wooly, some of the bigger dudes. Not even that Wooly's taller than Jared, short ass fuck. So I'm taking Schneids, and then with my snake draft pick, I'm taking Sam Elliott. Now, he's a skinny tree, but I think he's just got some of this raw muscle. He's been in fights before. He's always instigating. I think when it comes down to fight night, he is throwing fucking hammers, and he's going hard. So I'm taking Sam Elliott, and I think the last two picks in this draft are really going to affect your guys' chances. So, Jeff, go ahead.
All right, so we got Nodler and
our fearless leader.
Oh, Josh. Wow.
You got to stick Josh with Aaron.
I was gonna say, I think we're just all gonna fight Josh first to get motivated.
I mean, I think Josh would be pretty scrappy. The guy's got a little bit of a temper, so you hit him once, and I think he loses his cool, and he becomes a fucking madman. Nodler seems like a lover, not a fighter. So, Nods, I love you, man, but I'm gonna have to go with Palmer just because he's a scrapper.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against Nods. I mean, sometimes, though, when that kid gets drunk, he sees red. So maybe...
Nodler?
Yeah, I think
he's got a lot of motivation right now.
I think he can go when he needs to go. But, I mean, size-wise, you're probably taking Josh. So, Aaron, you have no choice. You're taking Sam Nodler. So here are the teams. Aiden, Higgins, Schneids, Sam Elliott, Jeff, JT, Tate, Josh, Aaron, Jared, Wooly, Sam Nodler. I think I got the best squad. Without a doubt.
No, whatever. I don't think it's close, but...
You think you got it? Can we agree that Aaron has the worst squad?
Yeah.
Unreal.
I can agree with that.
On the next pod, you guys should draft 4-on-4 basketball teams. A little recommendation. Then we should go play.
All right, so before next pod, we're going to be fighting everyone. This has gone on long enough. Boys, I appreciate you coming on. I hope we squashed any beef that we might have had. Didn't seem like we really even had that much. You're just fucking around, Just a bunch of 20-something dudes just acting goofy. So Appreciate you coming on. Any last words from either of you?
Yeah. When do I get the check for this?
Oh, yeah. You just got to send me Lamar Jackson, and then I'll get you paid. No problem.
Okay. Sounds good.
Truckee, anything from you?
Nope, not really. Enjoyed the pod. Thanks for putting in the work. I like listening. I like fantasy football. We're trying to make fantasy football fun again, is what I was told. So
Love to hear it. Make fantasy football fun again. All right, boys. Absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on. Really fun pod this week with Jeff and Aaron. Thank you both for coming on. As always, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the podcast, and we will catch you for NFL Week 6 next week. All right, thanks, everyone. Peace.